I've had something on my mind, that I've been kind of pondering over as I've talked to a few of the agents that I've been coaching. And so I figured I'd come in here and make a podcast. As you guys know, when I come in and drop these things, it's kind of stuff that I'm personally dealing with in my business, stuff that I feel like I've either gone through myself as I was learning to grow, things that I'm personally working with on some of the agents that I'm coaching right now as they're looking to grow their business. So I try to come in here and actually drop value for you guys and things that I have personally experienced myself that took me from level 1 all the way up to level 10, and hopefully pass some of this knowledge on to you guys to make it beneficial so that you guys can in turn grow where you guys are at. What I'm going to talk about today is probably going to strike a nerve with a few people, and that's okay. Sometimes, because it's the truth doesn't mean it's not, right. And I know that some of this stuff strikes nerves with people, but I'm going to go ahead and say it because I just feel like it needs to be said. And a lot of people out there right now are just simply not thinking big enough, and they're putting some massive limitations on themselves. And I want to share some stories with you guys on how I used to put some limitations on myself and some of the things that I had to personally break through to push myself into the next level. And as I've gotten through these progressions and different phases in life where I once thought that was the top of my ceiling, and as I got there, I realized, never mind, that's not. And I've had to, again, change my habits and adjust some patterns and surround myself in different circles of people to get myself to the next level. So I want to share what some of that's looked like for me, and hopefully it translates to some of the stuff you guys are doing right now and adds a little bit of value. So, here's the thing. So growing up, as you guys know, some of you guys have heard my backstory. When I grew up, we grew up super poor. I had a very hardworking dad. He busted his ass for us. So it was no fault of his own that he, didn't just work. I mean, he worked very hard to provide for us. He just wasn't the best when it came to money. He wasn't the best when it came to utilizing money to work for him. He was just your straight hardcore blue collar worker. Growing up, I grew up in Las Vegas, grew up in a small manufactured mobile home there. We didn't have a ton of money, but, growing up as a kid, I still had a great childhood overall, tons of great memories and whatnot. But I do remember us growing up and just not having a whole lot of money for anything. I was the kid that got the used bike for Christmas, didn't get a whole lot of really new stuff per se, because my parents just didn't have the money for that, right? And, growing up, when you see this kind of stuff, we're kind of taught, we see our parents working very hard, and we just can't connect the dots of like, well, my parents go out and they work hard as heck and sun up to sun down. Why do some people have more money than other people? It just doesn't make sense, And obviously, the truth of the matter is that if your parents never really figured out how to make good money, or never really figured out how to leverage their time or how to take their money and make more money for them, the result of that is that they're probably not going to be able to teach you anything different, right? They may be able to share some of their lessons with you, but they're not going to be the best people to go to if you're looking to completely branch off and do something different, or you're looking to be the change in your life or change the trajectory of your guys' life. My parents were no exception to that. So, hanging around, I remember talking to my dad, and we'd grown up, and I grew up doing blue collar work with him. I did dirt work, did construction, absolutely loved it. It was a great career, but it was a hard career. Didn't make a whole lot of money doing it. I did anything from picking melons in the field to washing airplanes to working in warehouses, doing distribution, stocking, and all those jobs were like sub 10 to maybe $20 an hour at the peak, and it was a lot of friggin' work, a lot of hours in the day, basically just busting your friggin' butt for low pay, but it was money, it covered the bills.